I met not too long ago, actually. In fact, I was trying to think when we actually met, probably a few months ago. May time. So through a mutual friend. And went for dinner, got talking to this wonderful lady, and I thought, wow, I'm really interested in what you have to say. And I really wanted to share this woman with you guys, because I think she's a bundle of knowledge, information, but also a real success story. And it's really unfortunate because I don't want to do this injustice by not being able to give you her bio. Now, I'm going to actually just wing this, sorry. Now, quite frankly, she is one hell of a success story. I mean, Ariella, you're going to allude to that yourself, which is wonderful. Yeah. And so I will let her, if you get a chance, just read her bio. It's pretty fascinating, actually. So I thought, you know what, in a conference like this, it can't be just all about clinical. We have to think outside of the clinical to really enhance our clinical mindsets so that we actually are holistic in our approach and actually are able to constantly think outside of the box, which makes us even better as people, as better as clinicians, so that we provide the very best for our patients at every opportunity. So I'm going to give up the stage to the wonderful Ariella. So over to you, Mama. Thank you.
Hey guys, how you doing? All right?
Yeah.
Good to see you. Are you sure? You all right?
Yeah.
Good. Firstly, thank you so much to Bob and also Sonia, I should say. It was an auspicious social meeting on that day that I find myself here in front of you today. So, a real honour to be here today. And I am going to be talking to you, as it says, about the unique edge, unlocking your path to success. So we're going quite deep into identity today. And I know there's been some other success coaches here. I'm also a business coach, but I'm a business coach with a difference. Where we bridge, you guys are very much into wellness, you're into holistic health. I am into holistic success, okay? So some of the techniques, some of my presentation allude to the inner work that comes from unlocking your success. And I really believe that starts with being our true selves in the world, being our authentic selves. My authentic self is quite a lot wackier than the authentic self that you see today, but I'm bridging with you guys, okay, so bear with me. But I know from my own experience that, because I come from corporate and I made a lot of money in corporate, I was a high-flying business manager in corporate, and I know from my own experience that just creating money doesn't create fulfillment. Who's had that experience? Raise your hand if you've had that experience yourself of knowing that just money, it does unlock doors, it can create happiness, but it doesn't always create fulfillment. Who gets that, right? There's some, yeah, a few of you get that. So that's really the part that I come in, where I work with my clients is helping them to really unlock higher versions of themselves. So I believe that everybody has a higher purpose. I believe that every single one of you here has unique gifts that you've come here to share with the world. I believe that every single one of you here is on a mission of some sort. There is something that you're delivering into the world. And it was interesting, Bob, last night at dinner, you hooked us up with these two lovely ladies, Boinia and Leslie. We had such a nice dinner together. These ladies, you will know them probably better than I, very much in the aesthetics industry. And I was curious to find out, what is the higher purpose of the aesthetics industry? Like, what is the deeper purpose? So I know that you guys, you're into beauty and you're into confidence building, and that's something that Anya said last night as well. It's about confidence. Something that I've seen echo throughout a lot of these presentations, particularly the lady who was on a little bit earlier, the psychologist, it was about self-esteem. Right, and I really got onto that. You know, it's about the raising of self-esteem. I think that is such an amazing purpose that all of you guys are like sending into the world. Who doesn't want to feel more confident about themselves? Who doesn't want to love themselves a little bit more, okay? So I want you to take away two things from my presentation today. The first is I'm going to talk to you about what I have come to understand is the transformational journey that all of us are invited to go on in our lives in order to transform into what I'm going to call your true self, okay? So I'm going to talk to you about transformational journey, and then I'm going to come down from the clouds and I'm going to give you some grounded, practical business strategies. One thing in particular, one strategy in particular that I think all of you can apply in your practices, okay, and that you can actually take away to make more money in your practices and bring more clients through the door. Does anybody here want to make more money in their practices and bring more clients through the door? Is that something that you might be interested in? Okay, good. All right, looks like I'm in the right place. Okay, so a little bit of background. Spoken about my corporate history, 16 years, high-flying business manager. 6-figure salary, lived in a London luxury flat, travelled around the world, 5-star hotels, sometimes a couple of chauffeurs, limos popping up on a big night out. But it was a good life, right? I had all of the trappings of success externally. Inside, my soul was dying a slow, painful death. Because I really decided to do something with meaning. I really decided to do something with purpose in the world, right? That word again, purpose, your higher purpose. And that was me in corporate, and I knew that there was something else, and I was hiding behind this identity of being this business manager, this corporate manager, but I knew that it wasn't really me, right? I mean, how many of you have had that experience where you feel like, hold on, I'm not quite in integrity here. Like, I'm wearing some sort of mask, I'm going in, I've got my 9 to 5 and I'm going in, I'm putting on my mask, I'm delivering my job, right? And you might have had this experience before, like you guys have trained with Dr. Bob, like remember what it was like before. And you probably didn't know who you were going to emerge as, you didn't know who you were transforming into. And that was very much me. So I've come to realise myself, after going on my transformational journey, I'm now branded as the success sorceress, because for me it started with a spiritual awakening and things got very mystical for me, and you don't all have to exit the room. I'm not going to preach to you. Appreciate that everybody here has got different beliefs around this stuff, but I do invite you to consider that we are all invited to go on what I'm going to call a hero's journey, which is a transformational journey to unlock deeper identity aspects of you. And even though you might be sat here today in this room as an aesthetic practitioner of some sort, I still feel that there is going to be some other versions of you, and I'm going to allude to some of those later on in the presentation and try and give you some higher ideas of an even deeper impact that you can make in this world. So what happened to me? I went through a spiritual awakening. I left corporate, I did the classic, spiritual awakening, gave all of my stuff away. Right, I gave all of my stuff away. I went travelling around Central America for about 2.5 months, went around all the mine sites. I got very cosmic, very mystical, absolutely loved it. Blew all of my money. I was following my purpose, following my calling. At this point, I'd like transcended the material realm for a while. Came back to the UK, and listen to this, right, because this always happens when you're going on your own transformational journey. You always get a test. Right? And it's like, are you going to carry on? Are you going to carry on following your calling? Are you really committed to going through like the path of transformation, the initiatory journey, right, which is designed to bring up your fears? You know, are you committed to going all the way, or are you going to turn back? And my test was that I got an absolute golden opportunity to go back into corporate, would have bitten their hands off 5 years before. They were going to pay me 120k, and it was going to be like a 6-month contract, right? Easy money. Not easy money when your heart and your soul wants to be in another direction and doesn't want to go backwards. So what did I do? I turned that test down, and I chose instead to buy that caravan. That is me, with red hair, just after my spiritual awakening, right? And I lived in that caravan for the next 2.5 years in a bankrupt state, minus, I was 30k worth in debt. I lived in that caravan just out of Glastonbury because that felt like home to me at the time. As I was following this path, as I was following my guidance, my intuition, the only guiding light that I had as I've gone into the dark woods, right? And I can't really see the full future, but I know there's a purpose, I know there's something for me. So I lived there for 2.5 years, and the transformation came when eventually, after 2.5 years, my business, my mission took off after many, many failures. Don't worry if you're creating failures in your life, by the way. Failures is part of the initiatory path. Failing forwards is the mindset with that one. Many, many failures. Ego hated it. But I stayed on the path, right? And just 2 years after I moved out of that caravan, not only did I move into a house, but my business also crossed the $1 million mark, and we served over 40,000 people globally, all right? I say dollars because a lot of money. Thank you. Thank you. And we've gone on to create more since, monetarily and also in impact. So it really is about staying the path. So what I do these days is that I love to work with high performers, like empowered entrepreneurs who are looking to make a difference in the world. I love to get behind entrepreneurs who know that they've got a purpose, who know that they're here to make an impact, and empower them just to do more in the world, to be more successful, but to connect with what I would call their soul purpose and to create like an insane impact in the world. My purpose is about being a bridge, so I am mystical. I'm also into very progressive sciences. I know we've got many a scientific brain in the room today. I'm very much into quantum physics as well. I'm very much into consciousness raising. So I see myself as the bridge between business, soul, and science. Okay? And I do really like to look at the codes. I believe that there is a bespoke code for each person in this room that actually codifies your success. I don't believe in one-size-fits-all success strategies. You are all unique. This is the unique edge. And there will be some strategies that work for you and some strategies that won't. So I wanted to share with you, this is one of my mentors, deceased now. Anybody here heard of The Hero's Journey and Joseph Campbell? Okay, you guys really, really need to hear of Joseph Campbell and The Hero's Journey. I recommend, write this down, go onto YouTube or Amazon and watch an amazing documentary called Finding Joe. It will go into great depth about the hero's journey, but essentially, Joseph Campbell was a famous American mythologist, a famous American philosopher, and he studied all of the world's myths, and he also studied all of the great films that have ever existed. So things like The Matrix, things like Wizard of Oz, like all these amazing classic films. He studied all the stories, and he found out that there is a common story which has 12 steps to it in all of these great stories, and he called it the hero's journey. And he talks about the hero leaving, and this is the transformational journey that I'm alluding to. He talks about the hero leaving the ordinary world and stepping across the threshold into the extraordinary world, and it being the rite of passage, the journey, that these 12 steps that he talks about are the 12 steps that we need to go through. I'm going to dilute them for you and share them with you in this presentation, that we all need to go through in order to find this hidden aspect of ourselves, this hidden deeper identity. There's a couple of quotes that I really like that Joseph Campbell said. He said, firstly, we must let go of the life that we planned, so to accept the one which is hidden behind that picture. We must let go of the life that we planned so as to accept the one that we have, right? So this concept of letting go, releasing the mask, releasing the old identities, creating space, right? So the universe can actually show us why we're really here. And he also said, follow your bliss and the universe will open doors where there were only walls. And I love that, this concept of following your passion, following your bliss. It was my experience when I was in that caravan, failing forwards, but I still followed my bliss. And I can tell you that there was many a time where I thought, okay, I can't go much further down the scale. I could go on the streets, right? And there were times where I thought that was going to happen, but there was always a magical doorway that opened just as I got to that point. And I love this concept of committing to one's bliss, committing to one's purpose, committing to one's dharma, and the universe aligning with you and supporting you to do that. So I've spoken a little bit about how I don't believe in one-size-fits-all success strategies. I do believe in holistic success. And I've come to really appreciate that success transcends mere strategy. It is, in fact, a profound inner alchemic transformation. So I really want to position this for each of you today because you're all aesthetics practitioners. You've probably all had similar training. You all know similar aesthetics machines. So what is going to differentiate you from the next practitioner? It will be you. right? It will be you stepping forwards in your full glory, being fully expressed. That will magnify your clients to you, it will create trust in your clients, it will separate you from a busy marketplace. So I really believe that it's about identity, and I can see that because I follow Dr. Bob on Instagram. Do you guys follow Dr. Bob on Instagram? You've seen it, I'm pretty sure the whole room does, right? Sandra does as well. He does some great stuff on Instagram. Like, I would say that Dr. Bob's soul is fully expressed in his business. Like, his personality, his identity, it shines through, it's magnetic, it's attractive, it's why you guys followed Dr. Bob. You have trust. He stepped forward as an authority, right? He knows how he works, and he's sending the best version of himself out into the world. And that's the invitation I think all of us have. We may not all be Dr. Bobs, we may not all be extroverts, right? And wear pink blazers and, you know, flash our lights. But each of us have got our own unique skills, gifts, uniqueness about it. It's up to us to find out what our uniqueness is and to really radiate that out into the world. It's so attractive for our potential clients. So look, I'm going to boil down these 6 heroic stages for you now. So this is the transformational journey that I've been talking about, Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. And how I work with clients in my practice is I take them through these 6 steps, okay? And I'm taking them through the 6 steps. Why? Because I want them to transform into that next level version of themselves, that deeper level version of themselves, that's more connected to their soul, that's more connected to their purpose, and who's going to create more success and impact in the world than ever before. 6 steps. So step number 1 is about the awakening. So it may not be a spiritual awakening that you have, but the universe will call you up in some way and invite you to go on this transformational journey. That looks different for us all. It could be a crisis point for you, right? It could be that you've had a health crisis. It could be that you've lost a relationship, you've gone through a divorce. It could be that you've gone bankrupt, right? There is in life these reality-shaking moments that shake the fabric of our identity, of our reality, and actually ask us to see ourselves and to see life from a different perspective. You also don't have to wait, by the way, for the calamity to find you. You can initiate your own awakening. And I'm going to be talking to you about some of the ways that you could do that. Step number 2 is about crossing the threshold. So Joseph Campbell talks about this as leaving the ordinary world, stepping into the extraordinary world. You have to cross the threshold. The universe is calling you up. It's giving you an opportunity to step into a different life, into a different world. And by the way, there is always a threshold mentor, okay? You're not supposed to go into the dark woods on your own. When you're in the dark woods, you will feel on your own because it is an initiatory path. But you actually have to say yes to your higher purpose. You have to say yes to this next level version of you. You have to cross the threshold. Step number 3 is about shedding masks. So these are releasing the old identities, right? Releasing who you were before. So for me, I had to step away from being a corporate business manager. I literally put up a post on my Facebook wall and I said, that's it, I'm leaving my corporate career behind, I'm going to find my true purpose. Expressing this stuff in the world is really powerful if you know anything about manifestation as well. Step number 4, as part of the transformational journey, you will be asked to face your fears. And that will be different for all of you. For me, I had a lot of money fears, clearly, because I had to live in a caravan, right? I've got to live in a caravan and face down the illusion of scarcity, you know, and stay that course. You know, for you, it might be something else. It might be something to do with your relationships or, you know, a belief system that you have. But you will be asked to face your fears. Why? Because your fears are not real, right? Your fears are not real. They might look real, but your fears are an invitation, once you confront them and transform them, to actually unlock hidden, dormant talents and gifts that you have in yourself. For some of you, it might be being visible. It might be public speaking, right? Whatever you've been in resistance of, whatever you've been running from, the universe will give you an opportunity to transcend it, and you will then get to see yourself in a different light. It will help you to unlock this next level version of yourself. Step number 5 is about upskilling, skilling up. So, as you're stepping into your higher purpose, you'll be asked to retrain. You guys have all retrained to be in your current professions today. You know, and there'll be different variations of that, right? That's a very exciting stage when we're learning new skills, which are linked to our next level identity, linked to our purpose in the world. It feels really, really good. And then finally, step number 6 is about identity reintegration. So this is really when you integrate everything that you've been learning on your transformational journey, you become whole, you become complete, if you like, at this stage. You integrate also the past versions of yourself. So for me, when I was in that caravan, I had released the old business part of me. It was like I turned my back on business for a while. I was super spiritual. I was giving away all of my services, didn't want to have anything to do with business or money. But then after 2.5 years in the caravan and like dying a slow death in the caravan and all levels of my existence, I was like, do you know what? Maybe, just maybe, my soul wanted me to learn business skills. And maybe I can bridge the two here and I can become an entrepreneur, bring back in my business skills and also do my consciousness raising stuff. And that's how my success happened, right? So you have to reintegrate your identities. Everybody get on this QR code. Okay, so you're gonna love this. I'm introducing you to a tool here that I actually found as part of my awakening process. It's an incredible system. It is an esoteric system, all right? So heads up, it's gonna feel a bit weird for some of you. It's a very ancient Hebrew system. Effectively, what it does is it gives you a roadmap to understand what your soul purpose is, to understand what your gifts are, your talents are, what some of the challenges are that you've set for yourself in this lifetime so you can transform them into your greatest gift. It is an amazing, life-changing tool. It really, really is. So you can have that for free by going into the QR code. But a little bit deeper into step 1, which is the awakening. So there's 6 steps in total. Don't have time to go into all of them. But I can give you some suggestions in step 1, the awakening. First suggestion is that you release what no longer serves you. For me, I gave all of my stuff away. Perhaps it did serve me in some ways. You don't have to do that, right? But it might be a mindset that you're letting go of. It might be an old limiting belief that you're letting go of. It's something related to your old identity. The second suggestion I have for you is that you step away from your old identity, right? The people who rigidly stick to identities because out of fear, you are stopping yourself, you're preventing yourself from expanding into something bigger. You never lose anything. This is what I've really learned on this transformational path. You only gain. The third suggestion I have for you is to consciously enter into transformational situations. Okay, this is a great way to ignite your own awakening. It could be that you go to Peru, right? That you go and do some ayahuasca with a shaman. I don't actually recommend it because I did that and it was one of my most horrendous experiences of my entire life. But it could be that you go on a silent retreat, right? It could be that you go, Bob's laughing, he's done it. Maybe, I don't know. It wasn't good for me. It could be that you join a new community, right? I mean, Bob is a transformer. I know this about him. So everybody in your community, he will be opening you up to new perspectives, expanded levels of consciousness, right, that you probably had before you came in here. So that's a really good thing to do as well. And the fourth suggestion that I have for you is that you really commit to a path of inner work and self-discovery. Your business is a reflection of you, right? So what you transform inside, it will be seen outside as well. And as I say, you've got your free soul profile there to have a look at as well. That's certainly going to take you down the rabbit hole of self-discovery. So that is the transformational journey. I also promised you some grounded business strategies. So I have a formula for you here, which is a success formula, which is your magic, in other words, your uniqueness, plus marketing equals success. When you bring in marketing skills, business skills, with your magic, that is when your practice, your business can go kaboom. So this is what happened for me. This is how quickly I got out of the caravan and started, impacting the world. The first thing that I did is I focused on building an email list, right? An email list. I did a bit of social media, but this is what I've learned. Social media, great for attraction. You need it. Great for attraction, not so good for sales. Email list, 95% of my sales have come from my email list, still today, right? Whether you are selling directly on your email list, whether you're sending people to your events, you're filling up events like this potentially, you're sending them to webinars, online things, whatever it is for you, okay? For me, it comes from my email list. So I really recommend looking at that, and I've got a key strategy for you in a moment. I also focused on learning how to sell, and not just sell, but heart sell. Like my soul, my heart being in it, authentically selling to people, authentically marketing. People can tell, like, when you're just a faker, you know, like, that's something completely different. You want to be able to connect with your heart, connect your voice with your heart, speak to people in a way that they understand, speak to people in a way that's going to actually move them. Yeah, so that's a whole journey. I'm sure that you guys are going through that process as well. It's all good. You could be the best practitioner in the world, but if you don't know how to sell, you ain't really got a great business. That's the bottom line there. The third thing is to, of course, create a magnetic product suite that people are gonna, you're gonna solve a problem for them, that they're gonna be attracted to you, so they're gonna actually get out their wallet and give you their money. And I think you've got some great suggestions here. Thank you, by the way, to the guys in the back who did some FX lasering on me before I got on the stage here. It made me more intelligent, hopefully, give me more energy. I do feel the energy, I'm not sure I've got the intelligence. And the last thing that I recommend is leveraging your time and your energy by working with groups. So I started off, maybe like some of you in the room today, I started off working one-to-one. And that was great, it was essential because I got very close to my clients, I saw what they needed, I saw what they wanted, I refined my skills with them, what I was supplying to them, what I was providing to them, but you get burnt out, right? If you stay one-to-one, you will burn out at some point. So doing group programs is a great way to leverage your time, your energy, and also your revenue as well. But I really recommend that everybody in the room just do this today. Literally, appoint yourself here today the leader of your domain, whether you've been identified as it or not, all right? Because we're talking about an inner transformation affecting the outside world. You guys are all here on a big purpose in the world. I can see it, right? It's about self-esteem, it's about confidence. Appoint yourself a leader today of self-esteem, step forwards in that way, be of service. Other people will feel your confidence, it will attract people to you. I'm going to show you the money quickly on this slide. This is a launch process that I did in my business last year. It's something that you could replicate, maybe with a few differences in your own business. So this was the money multiplier. This launch brought in £156,000 in just 4 weeks. I didn't plan for 3 months, 6 months to do a big launch process on it. I had an idea, I ran with it. What I did is I actually created a free charity event, okay, which raised £44,000. 50% of that we gave to charity, 50% of that we kept for our costs and our business. So for me, it was an online event. For you, it could be an in-person event, okay? From there, I invited people to a free webinar and I made an offer that created £13,000. For you, you could do a presentation at a physical event and make an offer. And then at the one-day workshop, which I had 13 people there for, 4 people stepped into a high-ticket offer that I made at that one-day workshop, and that came to £111,000, okay? And this is on top of other planned sales activity. It was totally leverageable. So I want you to have a think about some events that you could be doing, right? And I want you to have a think about how this model might be able to work for you. Essentially, you're getting people into a room, a group of people into a room, you're making an offer, and it's maybe like a lower ticket offer, you're moving them into a step, they've got into the next step, it's another group, you're making them another offer into a higher ticket offer, okay? That's literally all it is. To go a little bit deeper in this, everything that I did there, that 146k was only created because I have an email list, right? So I really want you guys to hear this. This is the key point. The email list is so essential in your business. If you don't have an email list at the moment, or if you're not utilizing your email list, I'm going to tell you that you're missing a trick. This is a really good event. This is a really good formula, right? This is something that I teach in my business as well. This is an organic list build strategy. It will help you to create an email list of between 500 to 5,000 ideal subscribers in just 90 days. So the concept is that you host an event. It could be a physical event, right? Or it could be an online event. I think you guys work a little bit more locally than me, so maybe it's a physical event. You're the host, you invite 5 to 10 speakers to be there. Dr. Bob, for example, could be one of them, right? And some other influencers that you guys know. This is great because if you're just starting out, and this is what took me out of the caravan, I wasn't an expert at that point. I was just starting out. So I got a load of other experts, I interviewed them, didn't have to have the knowledge myself, but people showed up to my event because they wanted to hear from these other experts, right? So I went from having 0 people on my email list to 5,300 people after 90 days. And all I did is I interviewed a few speakers. So what I recommend in this form is that you interview 5 to 10 speakers, and it's really great because you're creating a platform that promotes these speakers. And this is the crucial thing, this is how you're going to get the emails. You create a landing page, an opt-in page, I'm sure we've all seen it, something where you have to give your email address in order to get inside of the event, right? So you create a landing page, you've got all of the speakers' headshots on there, you have to opt in order to get like the Zoom link or be told where the event is or whatever it is, right, to get the ticket. And then of course, as the host, you get all of the email addresses so that you can market and sell to them afterwards. They see you on the same platform as the other speakers and teachers, makes you an authority overnight in their eyes because you're on the same platform as them. So it's a really good authority move for you as well. You become an immediate authority. And as I say, you can market to them afterwards. Now, this might look a little bit different to you. It might not be an online event, but I want you to all think about what type of event that you could create, right? And you just create that simple landing page, you get the email addresses, maybe you're interviewing people, right? And you can market to them afterwards. It really is that simple. Last slide. I want you to remember to download your free gift so you can discover your destiny, you can look up your soul purpose, you can understand your soul codes. Okay, so you can do so off of that QR code. And just in the last few minutes that I have left, I'm not sure exactly how many I have left, I'm just going to invite you, because I know there was a lot of information and a lot of messages there, but I hope I've delivered on my 2 things, which was to show you what the transformational journey is in order to lock these deeper hidden aspects of your next level identity, and also I've given you some grounded success strategies, and one of them is about creating an event so you can get the email addresses. What I invite you to do just in the last couple of minutes to ground this, I want everybody to turn next to the person that is next to you, and I want you to tell them what event you are going to create that's going to generate these email addresses in your practice, okay? So I invite you to do that. It could be a launch event, it could be their interview series, right? It could be that you're promoting a new product, or it could be
Get married again.
Somebody else.
What's yours?
Right, you guys, so I hope you are dialing in an event, you're getting some ideas coming through. I think we're just about out of time here. You can come and find me later, let me know what your event is going to be. By the way, if that QR code isn't working, I just heard thank you for Miss Lady that it wasn't. Go onto my website, ariella'indigo.com, A-R-I-E-L-L-A, indigo.com, and you can get the free gift from there. Any questions?
Fantastic.
Very good. Actually, Eric, I have a question.
You had a question?
Yeah.
I am here and I'm asked to add my full birth certificate in.
Yeah. So when you look at the profile that I've given you guys all free access to, you need to put in your birth certificate name exactly as it's written on your birth certificate. So probably for most of you in the room, it's going to be first name, middle name, surname. Yeah. If you have, if it's French, if you have an accent, if you've got an umlaut or anything else, then you just remove the umlaut or the accent and you spell it phonetically. But come and chat to me, you guys, later. I'm going to be around later.
Aurelia, you're going to be coming to the evening as well. I think you're going to be hounded.
I'm going to do some readings later.
Rightfully so.
Come and see me.
Thank you so much. You can see why I wanted to share this wonderful results. Imagine the conversations over dinner. I mean, unbelievable. And the more you listen to this stuff, the more you realise how little you know. So thank you once again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right.